Talk to us a little bit about how your life has changed and what your life was like before you came to the program.
It was difficult.
I was lazy.
I hadn't accomplished as much at all.
I didn't know what else to do, and I was just out here in the streets and didn't know how to get my job.
I wasn't going to school.
No dreams, no nothing of what I wanted to do in life.
I was jobless at home with my mom, looking and applying.
I was the kind of person that really didn't care about where I went,
Wasn't working, and now I am. I'm doing everything.
And when I got into the WIA program and I seen what they're about, I have now got a job experience, learned how to do resumes, and really know what real life's about.
And now I have goals, and I want to achieve those goals.
Now it's just, I need to do this. I need to work this hard to get where I need to be.
I was able to gain all the knowledge and all the skills I need to now I have a job. I see a brighter future now.
So there I was, y'all, standing on this bridge, 60 feet above the water, scared to death. I did not want to be in this position, but my big mouth got me in trouble. Do me a favor, by a round of applause, does anyone here have a crazy friend out of curiosity? Yeah? Okay. By the way, chances are if you're not clapping right now, you are somebody's crazy friend, okay? He sees us all by the ledge. He goes, "Oh, y'all jumping off the bridge? I got this." And then jumps off. And we're like, "Oh!" Mike just killed himself. Because no one told him about pointing the toes or plugging the nose, right? So he's falling, he's falling, and then boom, he hits the water. We are just paused. We're like, "Oh!" And all of a sudden the water ripples a little bit. You see Mike pop his head out through the top, take a big deep breath of air, look back at us, and was, "That was awesome, yeah!" And then he swam to the side. So now here's my situation, y'all. I committed to doing something. I learned how to do it. I saw someone do exactly what I wanted to do, who arguably wasn't as smart as I was, right? Because he didn't know the right technique. He did it and made it. All I had to do was face my fear and jump. So I get to the ledge, and I go, "All right, I'm gonna do this. 1, 2. Then I said, "You know what? I don't want to do this." In fact, I would do it if I want to do it, but I ain't gonna let them peer pressure me into jumping off this bridge. So I got back, I started leaving. Then I had a thought, y'all. And that thought was, how would I feel 6 months from now when I look back at this moment and realize that this was my moment to take action and I didn't do it? I said, I don't want to live my life feeling regret. I said, you know what, if I could do this, I could do anything. So I got back to the ledge. So I said, 1, 2, 3. I jumped off, right? And I was expecting to make like this manly noise, like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he jumps out of a plane in a movie. But what came out of my mouth was, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" Yo, I fell for so long, I was screaming like a 12-year-old girl. I looked around and said, why am I still falling? And then, poof, hit the water, everything went into slow motion. They started playing some like violins. This fish swam up to me and said, "You crazy," and then swam away. It was nuts. I swim up to the top. I start checking around to see if anything's broken. I swear, yo, there was a deer like this. And everything was cool. I looked up at my friends. I could just think of saying one thing. That was awesome, yeah. And I swam to the side. Our goal with you today is just like that day in my life. We want you to take action. You've already committed, step 1. You've already learned the proper technique. Y'all been going through this program for a year. Can we give a round of applause for all the people that have helped you get to here? This is a big deal, y'all. All the people from San Bernardino. The third step is believing that it's possible, finding a mentor. You've got tons of people to help you. The only thing we're gonna ask of you to do today, the only step I want you to focus on in my 4-step system I teach the students all across the country, is to take action. And we wanna make sure you're ready to take action.
We're on our way to the future. Who are you? You are whoever and whatever you want to be. And I am living proof. I am no different than you. You are no different than I. But for a few years ago, I would be sitting next to you. And I say a few because I am 58 years old. And before you know it, the few years will have gone by so fast. And if you don't grab on to opportunity, and if you don't hold on tight, and if you don't fight and scratch and claw for your future through the opportunities that you are being offered, the very short span of time will have passed, and you will look back and say, what the hell happened? We are but our own barriers. Knock them down. No different than you were being asked to look at the person next to you. I am the person next to you. I am that opportunity. How did I get here? By not quitting. The majority of the people in my life said, no, you can't make anything out of yourself. You come from South Colton. You're poor. You can't get a good education. There is no way you can overcome your first language. Yo soy de habla hispana. That is my first language. And yet, I will tell you that by the opportunity and God's grace, I was determined to be somebody someday, and there is no difference between you and I.
But anytime that you have that good voice, you know, all of a sudden LVS comes in and goes, it's not going to work. You're not good enough. What if you fail? And then all of a sudden we stop. We stop dead in our tracks. Boom. It's not going to work. What if I do fail? What if I look like an idiot in front of people, right? And here's where we all contracted LVS. We got LVS when we were kids. We actually contracted it when we were about 5 or 6 years old. During the first time that something really bad or really uncomfortable happened to us. And here's the thing about that. Can you see that if you live your life that way, if you're always telling yourself you're not good enough, or people aren't going to accept you, or you're poor, can you guys see how that'll limit you for the rest of your life because you'll never take chances? Now here's the thing. LVS happened to me. You know, I got that. I caught that LVS when I was a kid. So imagine if like little 5-year-old version of Dwayne came up here and he's like, hey, big Dwayne, I'm gonna tell you how to live the rest of your life. That would sound pretty stupid, right? Do you think I would actually listen to like a 5-year-old if they told me that I was gonna live my life a certain way based on what they say? You guys wouldn't do that either. But that's the problem, because you're already doing it and you don't even realize it. Every time that you have a good idea, every time you want to ask out that girl that's really hot and you talk yourself out of it, every time you're like, I got a great idea, I want to start a business and it's not going to work, and you talk yourself out of it, that's your LVS. So my goal is to get you guys to be aware of what LVS is, so after this presentation, you guys can take massive action, start some businesses, and make some money. How does that sound?
But the decision that I made was that I can choose to, woe is me, the world is going to end, feel sorry for me, I'm gonna get child support and blah, blah, and then I'm gonna get fat and lazy. That was my decision. Or I can be the victim or victorious. And it was in that moment I decided I'm gonna be victorious. So there's something that I learned in that moment that changed my life forever. And it is what causes you to make every decision that you make. Everything that you choose to do, every action that you take is based off of this one little thing. And it's the thing that allowed me to pursue my dream of becoming an NFL cheerleader. It's what allowed me to become and own a successful business. It's what allowed me to find and marry the man of my dreams who would later adopt my daughter. And it's how much your identity controls everything that you do. Your identity. What is your identity? Well, before this moment, I was ugly, unwanted, unsuccessful, undesirable, lazy. Anything that you can think of that was negative, that was me. But when I sat down and I realized, you know what, I don't want this for my life. I want to be happy. I want to dance. I was a dancer my whole life, and I wanted to dance and be in front of people. And so I realized that I had to change my identity and how I felt about myself. So it was in that instant that I realized, I'm not going to be ugly. I'm going to be beautiful. I'm not going to be unsuccessful. I'm going to be successful. And I'm going to take charge of my life, and I'm going to make things happen.
Now, how many of you know you have desire? How many of you have desire? How many of you know you have dedication? All right. How many of you know you have dedication? All right. How many of you know you have determination? All right. Because if you don't know you have it, you don't. If you don't know you have it, you really don't. But I'm here to let you know each and everybody that was born on the face of this earth have desire, dedication, and determination. You've already been downloaded with it when you were born. But in order for you to tap into it, you got to have something. You got to have a dream. Then you will realize that you have desire. If you don't have a dream, you don't realize you have desire. The next word is dedication. Some of you will know you have dedication only when you integrate a goal with that dream. Then you will realize what dedication is all about. And then the other thing is determination. You would realize you're determined when you're tested. When you're tested.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the experience was like and what you actually learned in the WIA program?
What I really learned is how to work with others, how to do my job, because I've never worked before, so it was a first-time experience.
I'm basically learning how to be involved, being talkative, helping people around.
It helped me get a goal set.
It made me make better choices in life.
Network, you know, which is very important, you know. Sometimes it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
I know how to actually do resumes now. I know how to talk to people in interviews.
I need help that I can, it's like a family basically, so it's like a family surrounding.
They don't give up on you and they push you to go out of your comfort zone.
So, the WIA program and the PAL Center helped me really, get my life back on track.
Well, it really helped me to become more self-sufficient, getting things done on my own. And also it helped me get sort of a good career path.
I am, getting A's in school. It's just, I'm so grateful for this program. It's a God-given program, and I love it.
Talking about interviews very quickly, how many of you guys have already had an interview for a specific job that you really wanted to do? Raise your hand if you had an interview for a specific job, right? How many of you guys ever left an interview feeling like, gosh, man, I could have did a little bit better than I did, and you were a little nervous, right? How many of you guys know sometimes they ask you specific questions, and not always do we know the answer to those questions, or we know, but all of a sudden we have like a brain lapse or a lapse of memory at that time? All right, we're gonna tackle a couple of things that you really need to do for an interview, which is going to be important, and then also to keep the job. The reality is this, is that all of us, most of the time, the whole interview process can get us a little off balance, it can get us a little off kilter, it can cause us to second guess ourselves, and it can cause us to have sometimes a little lack of confidence. One thing that I don't want you to leave here thinking is that you can't get a job because you can't ace an interview.
All of you guys have gone through this program, if you've graduated, and you're on to bigger and better things. But if you want to sustain that, the things that I'm going to talk about today are things that you absolutely need to know. One of the things that you are guys going to realize as you go through the next stages of your process is that you can have all the education in the world. You can even have a great job, but if you don't understand how to leverage diversity, meaning really the differences between people, you're going to find that you're going to be limited in how far you can go. So what we're going to talk about today are three things. Number one, we're going to talk about what actually are we talking about when we're referring to diversity, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what we're talking about and then how it relates to all of you guys in the business world. Number two, we're going to talk about where our personal attitudes come from, and once we know where those personal attitudes come from, we can take control of them and we can then make them work for us, right? And then number three, we're going to give you some outlines in terms of steps to take next to begin to leverage diversity in your own lives so that not only are you guys reaching success right now, but you will be able to sustain it for the long haul. Here's what this whole organization is about. It's why for. We're about why youth, why wait, why now, why not? Okay? So if you guys felt like you learned something new, was reminded of something you need to hear, and you got value and your life has changed from being here, can we please give a standing ovation to everybody on the stage right here, please? Let's give them some love.
What's next in life for you? What's next on your path?
To become a dental assistant, law enforcement.
Well, I'm gonna go to American Career College and become an optician.
Going to college.
I'm going to be enrolling in nursing school to be an RN.
Getting my master's or associates in fire science, and so I'm going to become a firefighter because of this program. I've learned what I want to do in my career.
Came in this program with nothing, and now I'm doing LVN program.
You're a police officer.
I could end up owning my own restaurant. There's more to just struggling and all that. It gives us a way out.
If you don't know what you're doing, it's a really great way to get yourself started.
I could do anything now.
My life has changed a lot.
I just learned skills that I needed to be successful.
There's real opportunities out there for young people. Don't close off any options.
Let them see that no matter what their circumstances are, they can do whatever they want to do and become whatever they want to become.
I say to these young people that might feel that doors of opportunity are closed, I say, open your eyes.